the Indiana Fever made with Caitlyn Clark's presence on the court is undeniable.
Fever made some unsurprising roster cuts.
This is the first cut.
Plenty of players have been waived.
It's chaos in Indiana, and it's not from a buzzer beater. Just minutes ago, the Fever made shocking roster decisions.
The Indiana Fever having to make some cuts. Players that many expected to be possibly gone.
That have fans stunned and the WNBA buzzing. Major names are gone. Not traded, not benched, removed.
How tough it was going to be to make the roster. How a group of players were fighting for essentially one spot.
And at the center of the storm, Caitlyn Clark. Her presence has turned Indiana's locker room into a battlefield of talent, system fit, and speed.
It's a rough life in the WNBA where you get drafted, you have that moment, and then it's gone.
The Fever aren't just building a team, they're building her team. If you can't keep up with Caitlyn's vision, you're out.
Cece, one word to describe today.
Only one word. Unreal.
Plain and simple. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about a franchise rewriting its identity around one generational player, and the casualties are already piling up. Buckle up.
Caitlyn Clark is just so fun to watch. The difference that she brings to the game. This is an entertainer. She knows how to rev up the crowd. She puts on a show. And like Rebecca Lobo said, the Indiana Fever are just fun to watch.
What just happened could change everything for the WNBA. The Indiana Fever's latest roster shakeup didn't just catch fans off guard, it sent shockwaves across the league. Within hours of the team's internal review, multiple names who were expected to play key roles in the upcoming season were suddenly dismissed from the roster.
Camp, it was assumed 5 players were competing for one spot.
These weren't just bench warmers or fringe prospects. Some were veteran players with real WNBA experience, and others were promising talents straight from college. But here's the truth the franchise isn't saying out loud. The Caitlyn Clark era has officially begun, and it's demanding a new kind of team.
Caitlyn Clark is just different from everyone else.
It's crazy how one player can implement a change so massive. That is Caitlyn Clark.
Whenever Caitlyn Clark takes the floor, that maybe is different not only from any player in the WNBA, but from any player in basketball. The Indiana Fever are where they are because of Caitlyn Clark. The WNBA is where it is because of Caitlyn Clark. The Iowa situation is what it is because of Caitlyn Clark.
What most people don't realize is that Caitlyn's arrival didn't just elevate the hype around the Fever. It exposed weaknesses. Her court vision, insane shooting range, and basketball IQ operate at a level that forces the rest of the squad to either rise up or get left behind.
Everybody get an opportunity, and the cold reality of the WNBA is there just aren't that many teams and there aren't that many roster spots, which doesn't lead to said opportunity for too many players.
During training camp scrimmages and early preseason prep, it became increasingly obvious. Not everyone could keep pace. Those who couldn't deliver crisp passes in transition, create space off the ball, or adapt to Clark's rapid playmaking were struggling. And in a league where timing is everything, those fractions of a second matter.
But the timing of the cuts is interesting in the senses where they dropped these 2 players after the first 2 exhibition games.
Sources close to the team reported that coaching staff had already started redesigning their offensive and defensive schemes around Clark's game.
A championship is the clear stated goal.
That means spacing, tempo, and chemistry became non-negotiable. The Fever want to run, they want to shoot, and they want to lean into Caitlyn's instincts. If you're not fast, adaptable, or offensively versatile, you're a liability.
I would say, just pushing the pace and just keep going, not settling for who we were playing with. We're just getting ready to play, those bigger opponents and to win a championship. So we just had our mind focused on what we wanted to do and just keep the pace and not worry about the score.
And it seems Indiana isn't wasting time trying to patch over mismatches. Instead, they're cutting players now, before the season even starts, to give themselves the flexibility to build a unit that plays to Clark's strengths. But this isn't just about cleaning house. It's about sending a message to the rest of the league. Indiana Fever is no longer a rebuilding team hoping to stay afloat. With Caitlyn Clark on board, they're betting on dominance, on a culture shift, on winning. And that means the days of playing it safe are over.
They're going to do what they think gives them the best chance to win and gives them the best roster going into the regular season, and everyone who's on the bench has to be able to be relied upon for minutes if needed.
The domino effect of Indiana Fever's roster purge can't be overstated, and it all traces back to one undeniable truth. Caitlyn Clark is not just a rising star, she's a generational disruptor. Behind closed doors, coaches and front office executives were reportedly locked in hours-long meetings, dissecting how to turn their investment in Clark into a full-blown strategy.
Indiana Fever made their first roster cuts of training camp Monday. Ricky Bree Hall, Jillian Elaine were waived by the team as it narrows down its opening day roster. Jillian Elaine, she's out.
This isn't just about building around her, it's about unleashing her. What the public doesn't see is the growing gap between what the WNBA used to value and what Caitlyn represents. The old model prioritized slow, methodical possessions, low-scoring games, and heavy reliance on set plays. But Clark is bringing the future with her. Her play style is aggressive, fast, instinctive.
Caitlyn Clark breaking the record at $440 per average ticket to get into this game. That record was rebroken and increased to $670 per ticket. Couldn't help myself. Haters, read it and weep.
She reads defenders like a chessboard, pulls up from the logo like it's a layup, and fires no-look assists without breaking stride. The Fever realized quickly that you can't saddle a Ferrari with square wheels, and they made the painful decision to remove anyone who slowed the engine down. Insiders say the decision to release players wasn't just about raw stats, it was about fit.
Bree Hall would have had to really stand out in order to make the team. I just thought she had a chance if she could show she was a great defensive player just because they didn't have that specific player.
Clark needs teammates who cut without hesitation, space the floor intelligently, and don't freeze when the spotlight's on. The Fever's preseason workouts were reportedly intense, with Clark's competitive edge raising the temperature in every drill. There were moments when veterans who'd been with the team for seasons found themselves trailing plays, mistiming defensive rotations, or simply failing to match Clark's tempo.
The team looked great. Caitlyn Clark looked like she's ready to go.
When Caitlyn Clark arrives, she's going to be responsible for moving the ball more. She's going to be responsible for setting picks, dropping the ball off, making decisions. It's not just going to be dumping the ball down and you make a decision and we'll live with whatever you do. So
Honestly, I was really excited to just get out there and play, and especially getting to do it for the first time this season in front of these fans was really cool for myself. And just seeing the amount of people and young girls and young boys that stand there and scream for me to sign their stuff, I don't take that for granted. That's so cool. I would be lying to you if I thought that was just normal and everybody gets to do that. They don't. So I'm glad I can be a role model for them, and they have a great impact on me too.
It wasn't personal, it was performance-based. And let's not forget the pressure on Indiana's coaching staff. The entire basketball world is watching. Ticket sales are skyrocketing. TV ratings spike every time Caitlyn's name is mentioned. The Fever aren't just playing games anymore. They're running a business, one that's counting on Caitlyn Clark to be the centerpiece of a long overdue resurgence.
Salary cap is structured. The Fever are most likely making 2 more cuts. Most likely, which I would say that the players that are in the most danger are Ejim, who was the other draft pick, and the latest draft pick, and also Jaylen Brown.
That means surrounding her with shooters, athletic wings, and defensive anchors who can keep up on both ends of the floor. It means trimming the roster now, not in mid-season, to avoid growing pains later.
Caitlyn Clark play, and then we got one of the highlights of her career, really. We know she broke the record at Iowa, and then I'm going to pull up from all the way here. The ball's way in the air, and it goes down.
There's Caitlyn again, signing autographs.
This is Caitlyn Clark doing what Caitlyn Clark does, signing autographs.
One assistant coach anonymously admitted, "You don't get many chances like this. Caitlyn isn't just changing our franchise, she's changing the WNBA." That statement alone explains the urgency behind these bold roster moves. This isn't politics. It's basketball at the highest stakes. You either raise your level or you're out. With each training camp session, it becomes clearer. The Fever are setting the stage for something much bigger than a playoff push. They're positioning themselves as the league's next super team, and Caitlyn Clark is the engine, the face, and the future.
So this is what an actual crowd looks like. Chloe Peterson put this up. That is a sold-out arena. 14,998 people. That's all it could hold. They all showed up in Caitlyn Clark's college arena. Absolutely full capacity, folks. Full capacity on this thing.
And the Fever aren't waiting for the rest of the WNBA to catch up. The public saw headlines about roster cuts, but what they didn't see was how quickly the culture around the Fever shifted. Inside the gym, the energy is different. The pace is faster, the expectations are higher, and at the center of it all is Caitlyn Clark. Driving practices like a floor general, demanding excellence from herself and everyone around her. She's not just showing up, she's setting the tone.
This is your first time experiencing the Caitlyn madness. What do you make of this entire day that you were able to experience?
It's amazing, just to see that how many people just love her in this city. She made her mark here, and it's just incredible to see all the fans and how much she's just put into working, and then the impact she's had on this city is just amazing.
Even veterans have noticed the shift. Players who were once used to slower, more structured play are now being pushed to move quicker, think faster, and shoot with confidence. And for those who can't adjust, the message is simple. There's no time to wait. This isn't about being nice. This is about winning.
Michaela Timpson, my goodness, she looks like she has something, folks. She does. And I'm excited that she's part of the team.
And the Fever's front office is clearly choosing to build a roster with players who thrive under that intensity, not fold under it, and it's working.
Michaela Timpson was selected number 19 overall.
The few preseason scrimmages that have leaked already show a team that looks more cohesive, more aggressive, and far more explosive than what fans saw last year. When Clark's running the offense, shooters are spotting up, bigs are diving to the rim, and defenses are scrambling to keep up. That kind of fluid, dangerous basketball requires total buy-in, and there's no room for hesitation. Indiana Fever is no longer a team searching for identity. With Caitlyn Clark, they found it.
The ball movement was great to see. Who didn't want to see that the ball snapping around and the unselfish play? I think it bodes very, very well for the ceiling of this team.
She broke her own damn record, hitting 36-foot-long three-pointers. She looked it sensational. This team looked it great. And I'm telling you right now, they just put the entire WNBA on notice.
She put on a show. The deep logo three that further than the logo, really, that no one else is doing. The delicious dimes whenever Caitlyn Clark takes the floor that maybe is different not only from any player in the WNBA, but from any player in basketball.
And with the bold cuts they've made, they're proving they're willing to do whatever it takes to protect it. Caitlyn Clark didn't just arrive in the WNBA. She's transforming it. The Indiana Fever's bold roster moves aren't random cuts. They're statements. They're choosing hunger over history, fire over familiarity, and Clark is the spark setting it all off.
I didn't plan to shoot that logo three. I know coming into the game, everybody wanted me to shoot one from there. But Steph was like, was supposed to come out at the end of the third, so she's like, give a foul, give a foul, give a foul. And then it was 30 seconds on the clock, which like between 30 to 33, that's like your 2-for-1 range where you have to get one up. So I saw 30 as we're inbounding the ball, which probably is inbounding the ball at 30. Probably a little low, but I was like, why not?
As other teams scramble to keep up, the Fever are making it clear. They're not here to rebuild slowly. They're here to compete now. And with Clark at the helm, every decision, every play, and every headline feels like the start of something massive. Buckle up, because this is just the beginning.
Caitlyn Clark is just different from everyone else.
Caitlyn Clark walking back into Carver Hawkeye.
It was an unbelievable game to watch on television.
It's crazy how one player can implement a change so massive, and that is Caitlyn Clark.
The Brazilian national team went up to her after the game, asking for her autograph and telling her that shot was wild.
New additions, great former additions. The ball was moving, the passes were popping. What is possible for this group this year?
Yeah, a championship. That's our goal. And I think working every single day. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and we got a new team. So it's going to take some time to put it all together.
Caitlyn Clark breaking the record at $440 per average ticket to get into this game. That record was rebroken and increased to $670 per ticket. Couldn't help myself. Haters, read it and weep.
This is just a really high quality team, I think. And I look forward to seeing the rest, as it looks like they just scored their 100th point of the game against Brazil. I do not believe the Chicago Sky did as well against Brazil as Indiana is right now.
It was an unbelievable game to watch on television. It looked great. The crowd was into it. It was fired up. Social media was fired up during the game.